9 experienced hikers, a freezing night in the Ural Mountains, a tent torn open from the inside, and bodies scattered in positions the human mind could barely believe. There were no signs of a human attack, no animal tracks, but what investigators found on the bodies was impossible to explain. For more than 60 years, this case has confused scientists, investigators, and everyone who dared to look into it. Tonight, we uncover the dark truths that may still be hidden. In the Dyatlov Pass, in January 1959, a group of young Soviet hikers began a journey into the northern Ural Mountains. Their destination was remote, frozen, and almost completely silent. There were 9 of them, students, friends, and experienced hikers, led by a young man named Igor Dyatlov. They smiled for photographs, not knowing these would be among their last. They traveled by train through the snow, deeper into the Soviet wilderness. Every mile took them farther from the cities and closer to a place that would soon become a legend. At the last settlement, the group prepared their equipment. The locals watched quietly. Beyond this point, there would be no roads, no help, only forest, snow, and mountains. They entered the frozen forest, one step after another. The cold grew sharper, the wind grew stronger, but the group kept moving forward. Ahead of them stood the mountain, dark, empty, and buried beneath the storm. No one in the group knew that this mountain would be the last place they were ever seen alive. Days later, the hikers would vanish, and when the search team found their camp, nothing made sense. By the evening of February 1st, the group had reached the mountain slope. The wind was getting stronger. The temperature was dropping fast. Instead of camping lower in the forest, they set their tent on the open snow, exposed, alone, surrounded by darkness. Inside the tent, their boots were still there. Their warm clothes were still there. Their food, cameras, and supplies, all left behind. Then, sometime during the night, something happened. Something terrifying enough to make 9 experienced hikers cut their own tent from the inside and run into the freezing darkness. Without shoes, without coats, without a plan. The question is, what could scare them more than the cold? But the real horror was not the torn tent. It was not the storm, and it was not the cold. Because when the search team followed the footprints, they did not find 9 hikers. They found something far worse, and what was waiting in the snow would turn this case into one of the darkest mysteries in history.